Everybody wants alternative.
Welcome back to Alternative Milk, the milkiest podcast this side of the Appalachian Mountains or Appalachian Trail. Somewhere on the Appalachians, we are the best podcast ever, and we're done. We're not done. We got a long podcast to go. Well, not long. It's going to be a short, but we're continuing the series on My Hero Academia, and we're proceeding to episode 2, What It Takes to Be a Hero. What does it take to be a hero? And before you find out what it takes to be, you go down to all my little social media places down in the description. Go over to Instagram. Go over to the Twitter. Follow your boy. Make me feel special. Make me feel like you care. Gosh darn it. When you go over there, make sure you go to Instagram, follow alternativemlkpod. That is me, where I post the milkiest stuff about the podcast, about things going on in my life, just so you know what you know. And then when you're done with that, head over to the Twitter. Follow me at JD_altmilk. Altmilk, because I love alternative milk. No dairy. No dairy, no. I'm saying no dairy, no. That sounded cool. That sounded cooler in my head, but I digress. And we're in here just continue our rewatch of, The Hero Academics. And because it's so good. I like seeing the rise of my boy Deku. Well, that's what Bakugo calls Deku, as he's being a meanie pants. But, where we left off, Izuku met All Might, met his idol, met pretty much All Might's the creme de la creme. He's the number one hero in Japan. Really number one. He's world known as being one of the best heroes. He's saving the day. And I respect that. But it's not really showing a different side of All Might, but I like this episode in terms of it's going to show flaws within the hero system. And basically, quick overview of the episode. Izuku accidentally learns of All Might's secret, but there's trouble in town again before Izuku has time to process it. Will All Might be able to save the day again? And as you remember from last episode, he had captured the little sludge monster that was causing a little havoc in the town, and it actually attacked our main boy. Got him in some bottles and had them flying. They were gone. He took off. I don't know how he did it. I don't think they ever showed that, but he put the whole sludge monster in like 2 little bottle waddles. And then he just jumped into the sky. He was gone, just a long ass jump. And then Zuko was just hanging onto his leg. And when the episode opens up, it has them on a rooftop. And Zuko's pretty much just asking him, telling him about his life, about the hardships he's had because he was born without a quirk. And can somebody like him be a hero? And before All Might's able to give his answer, we go over to the opening song. Opening song of the day. That shit slap. That was a good ass cut. Cause it's like it left it on a little cliffhanger until you get back. It's like, whoa. Does he have the stuff to be a legit hero? But you don't get to learn that yet. You get that slapping theme song, and then it shows that sludge villain. He accidentally fell out of All Might's pocket while they were jumping, probably thanks to Izuku, rustling with that man's leg, so the bottle fell. It showed Bakugo walking by, his friends talking to him, just saying, "Hey man, maybe you need to lay off Izuku a little bit, man. Weren't our childhood friends?" And he's like, "No, I got to teach that man that if you ain't no hero, you can't be no hero. You don't got no quirk. You are lesser than me." And he has to learn the hard truths about life. And as he's walking, he kicks that little bottle and causes it to open. And now we got the sludge monster back out here again, back with a vengeance, causing all types of trouble for our boy. But before we get back to that aspect of the episode, we have one of the main parts is with Izuku and All Might having this conversation on the rooftop, and him learning All Might's true form. All Might turns into a slender man, looks sickly, coughing up blood, and he realizes he can't hide his secret. Like, he was injured in a fight years ago and caused damage to his respiratory system. His stomach was gone, and that's crazy. And it was a fight that was unknown until later in the series, where they discuss who he fought and who the villain was. But it's just crazy the fact, like, you were in a secret fight that cost you so much. Like, his whole respiratory system's gone. He said he's had multiple surgeries to try to fix it. Well, not his whole respiratory system, but I mean, it was severely damaged. He ain't got no stomach. No wonder that man looks so skinny. Like, oh. But he looks to Izuku and answers his question. And pretty much the answer was no. You can't be a hero without a quirk. And that basically puts what it means to be a hero at the forefront of the show. Is having the power what makes the hero, or does having the stuff inside you, the guts, what it takes to go save somebody, is that what makes you a hero? Because being born with an amazing quirk, I wouldn't understand how that in this society they've in their mind they've put it so that translates to you being a great hero. Like, look at this amazing quirk I have. Well, I must be a great hero. And those two things don't go together. You can't just say, wow, well, if somebody was born with all the powers of in traditional comic books, well, in American comic books, let's say Superman. And that's pretty much what All Might is, a clone of Superman. He doesn't have all the powers. He just has pretty much just super strength that he can use at varying levels. But I guess that's kind of like Superman, but not all those other stuff. Which puts a good cap on it. You don't want just a god tier character. Everybody needs a drawback sometimes. If Superman didn't have his powers anymore, would he still be that same person? I mean, he wouldn't be able to do those the feats that makes everybody like appreciate him in all this mess. But could he still be good? Could he still change a life? Could you save somebody? Like, having an amazing quirk, like, yeah, it helps. But if you don't have the guts, the thing in the center that makes the core of your character, you're just a guy with amazing gifts. it really doesn't help. So you can be swayed either way. Like, oh, I guess I just won't save them today. Why should I? The gifts don't make the person better, as they say. And that's what a big part of this episode deals with people thinking, well, I don't have that thing to help me in this specific situation, so I shouldn't do anything until somebody that has the exact thing to help me in that situation does. Because later on in the episode, there are like a lot of explosions happening around the city, and All Might tells Izuku, like, hey, I guess I'll go over there and see what that is. But he's in his slender form. He told him he can only last in that form for 3 hours, so he'll go over there just to see what it is, and leaves. And Izuku's just heartbroken, like, oh, I can't. Like, your idol, the person you worship, just told you the dream you have cannot be achieved. There is nothing you can do to achieve that dream, and you need realistic expectations. So he's just walking, and he leaves he says, probably just to go back home. But then you cut over, and it has our man Death Arms from the first episode, the dude with the like gauntlets on his forearms, the punching hero. He's over there trying to fight the sludge villain, and they realize, like, oh shit, this dude the sludge villain has a kid hostage, and it turns out it's Bakugo trapped in the sludge, and the guy's trying, like, as he was trying to do in the first first episode take over Izuku's body. Now he's trying to take over Bakugo's body, and he's like, "Oh, this is a way better vessel because he, I mean, he's just way more powerful." At this point in the series, like this kid has some crazy powerful quirk that can cause explosions, and there's fires raging everywhere, and all this mess. And the boy Death Arms, he rushes in there, but when he tries to punch him, like, all right, I'm a punching hero, and I'm punching a big ass shit basket of sludge. That shit don't work. So he backs up to regroup, and he's like, well, I can't, I don't have the quirk to handle this hero, so I'm gonna sit here and wait back. And some of the other heroes around him like, yeah, our quirk's not the one needed for this, so we're just gonna stay back. It shows the little firefighter hero again with the little water quirk. He's like, well, I'm saving these people over here. Even though your matter seems more pressing, I'm just gonna keep doing this. Y'all can handle it over there. I won't try to help over there now to help to do something that wouldn't require all of them. It wasn't necessary for him to do that at that moment. He could have went over there to help, but he chose, I'm just gonna keep doing this. And Kamui Woods, I think his name was, with the arms that can turn into like wood extensions of himself. He's like, well, I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna save these people over here, even though it's not a dire need, and let you handle it over there. Mount Lady, she shows up and she's like, oh, I got big and I can't walk on this street because it's too narrow. So I guess my quirk won't work. So you guys handle it over there. And all the while, Bakugo's still trapped in the sludge. Like, he is losing consciousness. Like, he's putting up a fight as best he could, but still, he's just one kid. With an amazing quirk. He's a 13, 14-year-old with a crazy strong quirk, but there's only so long and so much you can do. Like, what else could this kid do? He's fighting for his life. He can barely breathe. And then it shows All Might in the background. He's back there just chilling. And then he hears the people, because he's in his skinny form at this point. They're talking about, isn't that the villain that All Might was fighting? Oh, where's All Might at? He should be around. You telling me this guy beat All Might? That's impossible. I guess All Might just said fuck it. And he's like, oh well, I can't use my form. I've already used it almost the max I can. If I waste it on this guy, then I'm gonna be out the fight too. Then I ain't gonna be able to do shit. But shout out to our boy Izuku. Izuku comes up there basically like, man, is this by the explosions? Like, he's trying to head the opposite way, but he don't know what made him go towards the danger. So he shows up, he's looking around, he sees the sludge monster basically suffocating Bakugo. This man's on the verge of death, and all he could think of when he was being attacked, in seconds, he couldn't breathe, and he could feel himself fading away. And here Bakugo's been fighting for probably minutes to stay alive and using everything he can to beat this monster. And all the other heroes, they're just standing around waiting for somebody with a better suited quirk, waiting to be saved. Not waiting to be saved, but waiting for somebody to handle this job. Just as in the first episode, when it showed those people around, well, the heroes will handle it. I'm not going to be an active member in society because the heroes will handle this situation. I'm going to stand back. Heroes will come. But what happens when it's the heroes that are like, well, somebody else will come. Somebody else will come. I'm not going to rush in. I can put my life and that child's life in danger. But if you do nothing, that child's going to lose his life. If you sit back and wait, that little boy will die. And shout out to Izuku Midora. He's looking through the crowd and he takes off. He runs straight at that sludge villain. Bakugo's looking with his eyes going, what the fuck is this fucking nerd doing here? And Izuku throws his backpack at that motherfucker and runs up and tries to claw out Bakugo. And while he's doing that, the heroes are like, what is this kid doing? What? Is he dumb, stupid, or dumb? Sit your ass down. But y'all were going to let that boy die. Y'all were okay with not trying. And that's what makes a hero. Just because sometimes you are gonna lose a fight. You're putting everything on the line. You're putting everything at risk. But are you not willing to do everything to save somebody? Now, hey, villains getting away. Everybody's safe. Everybody's good. Sometimes you have to retreat. Like, okay, we've lost this one. We've lost this fight. Let's retreat. But when you can still save somebody's life, when you still have a chance to make a difference, you make the difference. All Might's back there, like, am I about to be embarrassed by this little middle school boy? So All Might turns into his All Might form, runs up, and gets both the boys with one punch. With one punch, he blows away the sludge villain. Fucks that motherfucker up. And that's pretty much, I mean, that was the end of that. The sludge went everywhere. And literally, he punched so hard, the weather changed. It just started raining. If y'all anybody was trying to power scale that, like, it was like, oh, they're like, is it raining now? They look up, it's just a big air tunnel spinning. It's like, damn, that man was punching, and he ended up saving the two boys. Police came, they gathered up all the sludge and put it in trash cans. That also doesn't seem secure, because I want to say All Might had 2 bottles of the sludge and he was able to reform for 1 bottle. So they should really be careful with all those trash bags they have of sludge. But yeah, it was definitely different. All Might did the right thing, and they were praising Bakugo for him being so brave during that whole attack. And the heroes were absconding. Our boy Zuka, absconding is giving him the work for, hey man, don't be rushing in there risking your life. But it's like, if he didn't do it, y'all just would have allowed him to die. So end of the day, it was reckless. It was the foolish thing to do. Like, you probably shouldn't do that, but it happened. And we got to see All Might's Detroit smash, which is always cool. He got American themed attacks, and his Detroit smash is basically just a extremely powerful punch. Ain't as powerful. Blew that fucking monster away. Pew! And then we got a Dooku, he's walking home. He's like, he's happy everything worked out. But, it still hurts that he thinks about his hero, his all-time hero. All Might just telling him, like, nah, you don't got the chops to do that shit, man. But then All Might shows up, and he's telling All Might he's sorry, but he's like, All Might's like, nah, bro, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for disrespecting you. I'm sorry for disrespecting everything you stand for, bro. And he tells him, like, nah, what it takes to be a hero, it ain't about the quirk, it ain't about none of that shit. You have what it means to be a hero. You have that shit, man. You're that dude. And that touched him. That touched him. Like, he had to grab his heart, and he dropped to his knees crying, thinking about that time when his mom just told him, I'm sorry. Like, no, that's not what he needed to hear. He needed to hear that he too can be a hero. And he can. He can. You never know who you inspire. And him taking action inspired the greatest hero to take it. The greatest hero in their world was worried to go in there. It took a boy that ain't had nothing but a backpack and some weak ass hands. That's what it takes to be a hero. Being able to move when everybody else is stopped. Being able to go on your instincts and get that person. And our boy has the stuff. And this is his journey on being the best hero. He want to be the best. He wants to be the best around. And nothing's ever going to keep him down. But hopefully that all works out. Hopefully y'all come back and listen to me talk about episode 3. That'll be out sometime in the future, as all episodes are. Thank y'all for coming here and enjoying an overview of the episode. I enjoyed this episode. It was a great episode 1 and 2, definitely. I think because it's all from just chapter 1, so it definitely told the story continuing on. It's a great mixture. It's a great episode, great opening episode to get you introduced to the characters and to the whole concept of the world. Hopefully y'all stay tuned for episode 3 on the channel. And well, I'll catch you next time. Make sure you guys follow me all those cool places. Deuces up. I'm back. I lied to myself. Make sure you also go and, subscribe to wherever you listen to this podcast. Make sure you able to find the next episode and listen to my beautiful voice. And subscribe and comment if you're able to, whatever platform you're on, and leave a review. A great review would help. That would definitely help. The more interaction, the better. So, hey, catch you next time.